Well, hello again, guys, and welcome back to another episode of GPWS.
Talk tick, talk tick, talk tick.
Well, now it's almost 12 o'clock and I'm here in the studio. Should I stay or go back home? I don't know what to do. One thing that I know for sure, that girl and I are through. Still hearing tick-tock, tick, tick-tock, tick-tock, tick, tick-tock, tick-tock, tick, tick-tock, tick.
Talk tick, talk tick, talk tick.
Tick-tock,
I know I was gone for a little bit there. There was a bit of a COVID scare, and thankfully nothing came of that. So we can get back to our project here. Now, I must admit I kind of skipped out on everyone on this as well because I kind of cleaned it off camera. So it's a lot of scrubbing and mostly just, dipping it in simple greens, scrubbing stuff, and going in there with toothpicks, especially in this gear here. This was really dirty. In this, I'm not sure, that's on a lantern pinion. I don't know what that necessarily is called, but on the center arbor there, that hole, that was, yeah. Anyway, okay, so, what have we got? Where are we gonna start again here? Well, after referencing back to the previous clips, we can put it, well, it goes back together this way. And yes, we are putting it back together now. And forget that, I'm going to be working with tweezers because these are so much easier to hold stuff with. Got our escape wheel, pallet fork, and sometimes things don't quite fit on the right way. Oh, you know what, I might have to get that one on with my finger. Okay, those two wheels are on. What's next? I think the second wheel. I think this is our second wheel here. And keep in mind, you probably haven't walked away from your project for 2 weeks, so you might remember a little better what the heck goes where. And I think this all goes like this. Oh, because there's a lantern pinion there, and then there's one over on the escape wheel here as well. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, I think that goes in that order. Let me just check. Okay, we actually got that right. That's good. Now we've got our alarm off and on staff here. On and off staff. Put that in. And what else goes on here during this time? Our alarm escape wheel, which I don't know where it goes. Okay, it always pays to look at this stuff again and take pictures of it. This is not the right hole for the escape wheel. This is over here. It goes right next to our staff. This hammer here goes on, I'm pretty sure there's a pivot on the spring barrel for this, so I'm going to leave that off for now and just put the top plate on. Yes, putting plates on is always a blast, and let me just actually get it on right. Oh, I'm not even on the going on the right way. Just get the tallest pivots on first, get those in there loosely. I generally like to screw the nuts on, like I'll generally start at this point. I know I haven't even gotten any pivots in their holes yet, really. But I generally like to start screwing nuts on pretty quick into this. And let me just... Yeah, this is hard to do down through camera. You really just need to have this up close and just push pivots into their respective holes and whatnot. Oh, that took all of 20 seconds, actually. What I like to do sometimes is flip the movement upside down and push the pivots into their holes upside down, and just gently slide them in, and they actually go in. It's pretty. I mean, you can't do that with all of them, but you can do that with some of them. And what do I mean by all of them and some of them? Well, just there's a lot of different movements you'll encounter, but simpler ones like this you can pull stunts like that. Yeah, usually there's a lot of kind of, well, not necessarily grief with putting the pivots on, but I don't know, for someone like for a guy like me, sometimes it can be kind of frustrating. But I see we've got yeah, this is good. This is all set. Okay, what are we going to do now? We're going to put our springs in. Okay, I've looked back at our film here again, and I know what goes on where, so that's great. This is our times spring, and here's our alarm spring. Notice how much thicker this one is. I guess this one has to do more of a, I don't know, a forceful movement compared to this one here. And I like this style of spring, well, more so the smaller ones, because they don't do that much spring chatter. And what that is just the spring as the clock or phonograph actually is running. The coils will kind of slide into each other and kind of make sounds like that and whatnot. And generally this is a symptom, like when a clock movement's doing this, you go, oh, okay, well the spring must be full of old grease and stuff, it's time to clean it up. Well, I've done this, I've serviced multiple Big Ben style 5 loud alarms and clocks and whatnot with the larger springs. And even when they're all cleaned up, even when you get like new grease and stuff in there, they still occasionally do that. I don't really know if that's just me doing a crap cleaning job. I mean, they look good. I don't know. I mean, there's a little discoloration there, but if you roll your hands on this stuff, it won't. No grease wipes off on you, and that's a massive thing right there. If you want to know if your springs are actually clean, because they're blued steel, and you know you can't really see any grease on it, just stick your fingers in there and see if the grease comes out. And anyway, I've done this on both of them, and they don't. There's no grease coming out on either of them. But anyway, yeah, this style of spring, even when it's dirty, I'm pretty sure this doesn't make those types of sounds. I don't know. Anyway, I just kind of like that. What do I use to grease springs? Well, I use this Power Fist multi-purpose lithium grease. This stuff works great. And you know, just generally take, well, not that much, that's way too much. Have it on a Q-tip like this, or I'm sorry, a toothpick like this. Apply it in here, and I'll generally kind of get it around. Since this is not really that big of a spring, I don't know how much this needs necessarily. Just kind of get it in there. Around the edges, I think, is the most important part to have it. And just have some over here somewhere. Something like that. And then the spring itself, I don't know. I mean, you know what? Actually, I'm not gonna do it like that. I'm going to put the spring in and then grease it, not grease it beforehand, because that's just asking for more of a mess, really. So if we just put this in here. And I don't believe eye protection is really necessary for a spring of this size. Oh yeah, and then you just hook it on the hook there on the inside. I mean, this is really thin spring steel. This isn't thick, really. Oh, okay, what the heck happened here? Oh, are we hooked in? Yeah, make sure you actually are hooked on, because if it's not hooked, I mean, the whole thing's not gonna work. You're gonna try and wind it up, and it's gonna bang into itself because it's not actually hooked into anything. And what the heck is going on here? We're stuck. I've got it caught under the hooked portion here. Okay, come on. There we go. There we go. The first coil is always kind of one of the hardest to do, and then you got the rest of it. Although that wasn't terribly difficult, was it? And do it coil by coil. And once again, gloves and eye protection are recommended, but for a spring of this size, I don't really think it's all that necessary. It might be. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here on this one. Maybe if you're doing this for the first time, because I'm not saying I'm a professional, but I think probably if you're doing this the first time, maybe gloves are kind of right. Although it is kind of more difficult with gloves because the fabric or whatever gets stuck in between the coils as you're coiling it up like that. And there it is. I don't know. That's my experience with gloves. That seems to happen quite frequently. And oh my gosh, I've made the mistake of leaving this kind of exposed. Now it's got hair in it. Little bits of hair. Oh yeah. And I have a cat and a dog, so that doesn't help. Yeah, if you're gonna get grease, don't do it. Don't store it in an area where dust and stuff can get to it. And I'm not going to be using this massive glob of, well, I'm not going to be using all of that massive glob of grease right there for this. I just kind of want to have more than, oops. Okay, that's definitely enough grease. Yeah, that is okay. That's enough right there. And then we can just put the wheel on. I don't know if this pivot has to be oiled in here. I mean, I guess worst case scenario, I can always just stick the oiler in there and do it that way. I guess I could just do that. Oh, there we go. And there's a hook on there. I don't know if you saw, I completely forgot to mention, there's a hook on this wheel. Make sure it's actually hooked in to the spring, and the way you can test that is because you can feel tension on it. And this wants to run nice and smooth in there, so that's good. I love spring barrels. They're a neat little package to store away springs, and you know, you don't have to screw around with mainspring winders depending on the size. And same deal here. Just do it all over this thing. Do it all over the spring can. Some people call it a spring can. I can see why. I call it a barrel because that's kind of more North American. And these are Canadian clocks I'm working on. Okay, that's good, I think. And the springs themselves, they'll spread this stuff around as it goes. Get our hooked. This hooked in. Oops, maybe just turn the light on. There we go. And you hook it in like that. Make sure it actually is hooked in. It should kind of slide forward and hook into that. Very ingenious way of, see that there? That's good. Yeah, a very ingenious way of doing this. Whoops. Of attaching a spring to something. Just hook it in. And of course you can take it off because of that. Oh, and because the light's on, you can see the really nice blued spring steel of this. Isn't that nice? And as I said, coil by coil. This spring's a little bigger than the other one. And the barrel as well. That's also how I could tell what all went where, because the alarm side had bigger equipment, bigger pieces. Okay, there we go. We're in. And with our spring greased, and yeah, I did put some grease in there. There's our little hook. Okay, so with our spring all greased up, and yes, I did add some more in there. There's our hook there. Stick it in here. Find where it actually hooks on. And generally you can just turn it once or twice and you'll have it. See, now we've got tension on this wheel, so that's good. Our spring, our alarm spring is all hooked up properly. And now these just mount in here like so. Oops, we'll just put this in. Come on. There we go. Are we not gonna go in? You might have to get it kind of swing it, or get it on the pole and then, or on the arbor there, and well, maybe not. It goes in somehow. There we go. There it is. And is it actually lining up with the wheel? Oh, I've got this wrong. This is the alarm spring. You can completely forget what I've been talking about. Yeah, this is our alarm spring right here. See, it keys into the escape wheel. Well, I'm wrong. Okay. So wait a minute. So the time side has the. Okay, that is an interesting design by Westclox. Okay, I've just noticed instead of the alarm barrel having the pivot for the alarm hammer, the time side apparently has that. And I've also got my, I had them the completely wrong way around. This is the alarm, and this is the time. I thought this was the alarm and that's the time, but no, I've got that wrong. So, oops, am I even turning this thing the right way? Make sure you turn it the right way or else it might unhook itself. There we are. Now we'll put our alarm hammer in. Oops. Get this in here. Oh, come on. I hope we didn't just hope we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot here by not putting this in sooner. Oh no, I think we're still okay. That was close. I thought there'd be an issue there. And where does this? How does this go in? I think it goes in like this. Oh. Yeah, it does. Wow. Okay. And see, there's our pivot for that there. That's good. Okay. Yeah, that still interests me how Westclox decided, yeah, let's throw the alarm hammer on with the rest of it, on with the time barrel. And just to test our alarm functionality here, let's just see how this operates. This is as I commented on the first part, this is a little 3-gear mechanism here. Okay, here we go. We got our, and remember this is turned off right now, so here we go. That's looking good right there. See this turning? Yeah, we're all set in that department. That is working just fine. Well, Greg, what do we put on next? I think we can get our... is it time for the escape wheel yet? Or, not the escape... the balance wheel? Actually, speaking of that, we should probably test that too. This all the way up. Oh. This winds up really nice and smooth. That's really good to see. This thing actually working properly. Okay, let's see how we're doing here with this. This with our pallet fork. Looking good there. You know what, viewers, to not go for 2.5 hours, I think we'll call it here for today. Or I'm sorry, not today, right now. I'm gonna keep going and film the next part, but you know, I think this part, I think there's enough in this for now. So anyway, sorry. So anyways, viewers, if I can actually get my words out here, we got the plates together. Wow, this is actually a really decent movement. If you're a beginner in this stuff, the baby bend movement is actually fantastic. That was not hard at all to work on or to put together. That went together really easily. So yeah, that's pretty good right there. And you know, of course, go slow and don't try and go, oh well, it's an alarm clock, I can screw it up as much as I want. No, these are still pieces of history. This is just a really nice movement to work on. No wonder this was available since like the Style 1A, or actually no, there is no Style 1A baby bend. Ever since the dawn of the baby bend, this is basically the movement they used until the Style 7, I think. Wait, no. The single key Style 7, I'm pretty sure, was the last one of these, and that's like 1960 probably or so. So these movements were around for most of the 20th century, at least the first half. And we'll cover a single key Style 7 movement and all that fun stuff in another series. But anyway, yeah, this is looking good for us now. So yeah, we'll leave it there for now, viewers. So I'll see you in the next part of this.